I don't clap back a lot, and when I do, it's like a soft golf clap. You know, it's not like
Hey, you're the athlete here. I like Vogey nostril cam.
I'm not technology. So my mother just thinks that I'm just some jabroni.
hey, it's me, Vogey.
Okay, my Marco Gonzales.
Yeah. Of course, the trolls came out.
What do you mean?
It's not going so well.
I'm within my rights.
Save it for the show.
Wow.
Don't touch anything.
The Inside Corner with Gonzo and Goldie, presented by Coors Light.
Welcome once again. We got another week of the Inside Corner with Gonzo and Goldie, presented by Coors Light. And when we were contemplating the topic of this show, the format of this show in its infancy, Marco, we were throwing around some ideas of different guests we wanted to talk to. And this guy obviously was right at the very top. Marco, please introduce our guest this week.
He's one of a kind, like you said. He was at the top of the list. I can't wait for this segment. It's going to be incredible. We got some great content coming up. My guy, Daniel Vogelbach. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
Now, we all saw the images that went pretty viral of the beaches in Florida not that long ago when social distancing elsewhere in the country was at its peak. And Florida was like, it's cool. Let's just go catch some waves. Was that you that we saw there with your toes in the water? What was going on?
Yeah, I may have been on the water fishing, but I definitely wasn't at the beaches. That was crazy. I couldn't believe the pictures when I saw it.
You know, we were curious. Growing up, I mean, you are a Florida guy through and through. I mean, like, who did you root for as a kid? Were you raised? Were you Marlins? Did you go out of the state for your baseball fandom? Where were you going?
I was a big Braves fan. Growing up, like when I was like my 8 through 12, they were always on TNT. Like they always put them on, and that was like because the Marlins and Rays weren't very good at that time. Like when I went through that, my baseball watching on TV all the time, and the Braves. That's when like Chipper and Andrew Jones, like those teams were really really good, and they put them on like every night. They were on TV, so that's who I watched, and I always loved watching Chipper.
I feel like that time period too, the Braves were just always in it. Like Smoltz, Glavine, like you have all these guys to watch. Like they're an exciting team. Chipper Jones was everybody's favorite player. I feel like
they won
no matter they were always on, you know?
Yeah. I think they won the pennant. I don't know, Goldie, you would know this. They won it how many years in a row?
Yeah, it was
a lot.
Well, they won the division. They won the division.
Or the division, yeah. Like how many years in a row?
16 years in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So, yeah, they were always on TV. That was definitely the team that I always watched.
All right, so you brought up fishing, Vogey, and we know this is like is this like your passion outside of baseball? Is this more than a hobby, fishing for you?
I mean, yeah, when I'm home, that's pretty much all I do other than work out and baseball stuff. It's where I live it's like the best fishing you can ask for. So I try to take full advantage of it. My best friends love to fish too, so that's pretty much all we do is get out on the water. And like in the year, this is the best time to fish, and I'm never home for it. So I've kind of been on the water as much as possible.
There's some positives in there.
Yeah.
Who do you go out with usually when you guys go, and whose boat do you take, and what do you guys usually fish for? Like what's the prime catch out there right now?
Well, we take my boat, and it's usually my roommate my best friend that lives with me from high school, and then a couple of my boys, and my brother will go with me. And right now it's tarpon. It's a tarpon season. The snook and redfish are here all the time throughout the year. That's what we catch normally, but right now the tarpon are a lot of fun. So we've been doing that right now it's like a sunset thing. You go out like 4 o'clock, you bait, and you fish till it's dark, and you come in.
So you like walk us through this. You catch a fish that weighs as much as a small man, right? Like you have Marco his freshman year in college rolled up on your boat.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you get Marco out of the water and into your boat while he's wagging all over I don't think wagging's a term, right? Probably flipping, flopping.
Here, we'll go with that. Well, you don't take him all the way out of the water. Like what you'll do is, and you're going to call me crazy, but I just get in with him and take pictures. So it's like if we catch him in like 12 foot of water, we'll drag him over to like 3-4 foot of water, and you jump in with him, you take pictures because you have to revive them. Because some of these fish you fight for 45 minutes to an hour. So they're like dead tired. Out. Like you have to you take pictures with them. everything, and then you have to like drive them next to the boat and revive them and get the water going in them, and then they'll take off.
So when James Clifford, your strength and conditioning coach Cliffy, as he's referred to around the clubhouse, when Cliffy like calls you and checks and be like, "Yo, Vogey, how's the workouts going?" You just send him pictures of like your fish wrestling. I mean, this counts, right? This is something.
Yeah, that's like the night workout. You go in the morning, do your workout, and then you get a little extra in the evening.
I love it.
For all of us who have spent some time around you, Vogey, I can't. I was thinking about this, and I can't exactly put my finger on it exactly, but it just seems like family is maybe even more important to you than it is to the average guy. And I can't exactly explain why I feel that way about you, but it's just kind of the way you talk. And when you talk about things, you bring up family and you bring up your close friends often. So with that being said, like, I don't know anything about your family. Can you tell us kind of about your immediate family and what's so great about them? Because obviously they mean a lot to you.
Yeah, they definitely do. That's just the way I was brought up, family first. And I got to give credit to my mom and dad for that. My mom and dad are still together, which is, I think that's awesome nowadays. You don't find that a ton. My dad just sold his business, retired physical therapist, would always be there. And like, he coached me until I was 12. My mom stayed at home, which is probably the biggest job out of anything, taking care of me and my brother and sister. I think I was the same when I was 9 as I am now, which is not good. And
God bless your mom, man.
Exactly. I would not be where I'm at today without my mother. She, it's just talking about keeping your head on straight. And there's a lot of, especially in what we do and going through the minors, there's a lot of off roads that you can go down. You see a lot of people go down, and I just try to bring what they've taught me into other people. And I think that the biggest thing is my mom's always told me is you can control if you have a smile on your face or not. People don't have to know what's going on, but if you have a smile on your face, somebody may be having a bad day and it rubs off on someone else. So that's the way I try to go about life, and that's how I try to play. And my brother and sister are the same exact way. My brother's a high school football coach and owns his own gym, which benefits me so I can work out with him. And he's trained me since I've been 17. And my sister is a kindergarten special needs teacher. So they're like really, really my core that I try to, make number one in this tough life that we live. And, it makes it hard leaving every year when you leave them behind, but I prefer it to be hard, because if it wasn't hard, then I wouldn't be as close as I was with them.
Yeah. Do you guys all live pretty close to each other, like down the street, or where do you guys
live?
live?
We all live within like 5 minutes of each other. My brother and I have golf carts. We golf cart to each other, and
nice.
My mom and dad and sister live like 5 minutes the other way. So it's perfect. And then my aunt and uncle live right across the street from my mom and dad. So it's like every Sunday's like family dinner and stuff like that.
Tell me that your golf cart is like super tricked out and you don't just have some boring Goldsmith white golf cart you're driving around.
It's all orange and blue.
Ooh, Gator style.
UF.
Yeah, all the seats are orange and blue.
Now, like, do you buy this as is? Did you go to some golf cart?
No, it was actually pretty cool. It was actually, I got it in the middle of last season. I've been looking to get a golf cart, and I was like looking on Craigslist. I'm like, I don't want to, I just want something that runs, going back and forth with my brother. And they were doing like a sale. The place was going out of business, I think. And like they would just take parts from everywhere and like build your golf cart.
Wow.
And it was like cheap. So I'm like, yeah, I might as well do it. So I just did all Gators.
You're clearly a Gator guy, not Seminoles or any other Florida school. I mean,
not even close.
How were you going to play for the Gators had you not been drafted in the second round by the Cubs?
I was going to go to Florida, yes.
So, this must have been like dream come true, right? I assume you were a Gators fan before you were thinking about going to school there, or no?
Yeah, when I was going through the recruiting process, it was kind of, I like went through it, but like I knew where I wanted to go. If the whole thing was like, if Florida offers, like I'm going to go to Florida. I wanted to go there the whole time. My buddy that Driscoll was going there, Jeff was going, so it was like kind of wanted to go together. And then it was just visiting the campus up there, like before, like just when I was in high school going to football games, like I just want to go to this place. Something about it.
Would you have overlapped with Zunino at all?
My first year would have been Zunino's last year.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. With like Preston Tucker and Zunino and those guys, that my freshman year would have been Zunino's draft year.
Got you. I think I asked you that before, but I remember that, like, you guys, especially being Florida boys, and he was obviously a huge Gator. So
yeah, Zadino and I played against each other in high school.
Okay.
He went to high school. Z went to high school like 5 minutes from me.
Got you. Wow.
So yeah.
So you guys have been intertwined the whole
exactly.
time.
Yeah. His dad actually scouted me. His dad was a scout for the Reds. I don't know if he still is, but he scouted.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Marco dropped a nugget on me. We call it nuggets in the profession.
Okay. Is that like an important fact?
Right. Good. I need a deep bench of potential co-hosts if Marco,
Wow.
So you just showed me something right there. That's
threaten
good.
me each week, man.
You know what? I got confidence in Marco. He's only going to go up.
All right.
My guy.
That's what he says when Marco's listening. Now, Marco dropped a high school stat on me, a Vogel stat that I haven't fact checked. I think it'd be tough to find out, but Marco, why don't you ask Vogey if this is true about what he hit in high school his senior year?
You talking about the average?
Yes.
I got it that you hit 550 as a senior in high school. Is that right?
I think something like that.
Oh, yeah. That sounds very accurate. Yes. Very.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that.
550, and I'm pretty sure that there's an epic video of an extreme bat flip in there.
That was
against a rival. We saw it in camp one time too, I'm pretty sure. But that bat flip was tell us about the bat flip.
Okay.
We can go back to 550, but this was against your rival, right? And they were talking smack.
Yeah, that was against my rival my junior year.
Okay.
It was the regional semifinals, and I don't know if you guys know, but I play with a little of emotion. I don't like to lose, and it had been like a emotional game back and forth. My cousin actually played center field for that team, and all year it had been a rivalry, and it was runner on first. We were down by 1 in the top of the seventh, and it was a 3-2 count, and the catcher asked me before the pitch, how does it feel to be the one that ends the season? Like, he pulled his mask up to ask me that, and then I hit a home run, and I pimped the heck out of it and walked all the way around the bases.
Wow.
So it was like one of those things.
Did you walk the bases?
I walked all the way to first, yeah.
It's epic. We got to put the video on here, but
it was one of those things where I kind of had to or if not he would have kind of won. I had to kind of do something.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where if social media had been a thing, this would have been the most viral bat flip of that time. I feel
like now the bat flips like that are just normal though. People do that all the time.
But the thing is, I feel like now people do it because they know that it gets seen. They know that it's going to be on a video somewhere. They know that they've seen other people do it. You're doing this because that's just your natural reaction. That's your competitive side coming out. I got you. Throw this thing over my shoulder. Let's walk this thing off.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. To be honest, it was one of those things where you just black out. It wasn't planned. Hey, I hit this. Oh, wait a second. Let me throw the bat. I was no, here it goes.
Yep. Taste it.
Yeah, exactly. Little taste fest.
Yes.
That was good, Mark.
I think that bat flips just happen. I don't think you bat flip just a bat flip. Hit a walk-off home run to go to the World Series, it deserves a bat flip. You know what I mean? If I hit a home run in the first inning of the Mariners' first game of the year, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's not a bat flip.
Right.
That's what I'm supposed to do. You hit home runs, you're supposed to hit home runs. But like Marco said, it's a pitcher doesn't yell or fist pump on every strikeout. But if you have the bases loaded in the 7th inning, you punch 2 guys out. That's an emotional thing that happens.
That's where I think the line is kind of the guys who compete and the guys on the field, they know in a certain situation, if a bat flip is justified and it's warranted, flip on me all you want. If you get me in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead, you flip on me. Hey, you got me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you've hit 3 home runs all year and we're in September and we're in the 3rd inning and you bat flip me, I'm gonna take some offense to that because first of all, you haven't earned it. It's not a big situation, and I don't respect that. But the same goes for me, a pitcher. If I got 2nd and 3rd, like you said, 2 outs in the 7th inning, and I got a shutout going, and I punch a guy out, come back in the count, punch a guy out, and I don't yell, I don't do a bunch of stuff, but if I fist pump, glove pump, or whatever, I think that's my version of a bat flip too,
No, and that's the thing. I think that just people take offense. It goes both ways. I'm a firm believer that that's just maybe how I am. You got to play with emotion. Not everybody,
for sure.
Some people play so even keel and they can do it. Like you watch like Rendon play. Like Rendon like never changed expressions. Even in the World Series, he's hitting 600 and hitting bombs, and he like never changed. That's just how he is.
That works for him.
No doubt. But like you got guys like that are just like Javi. I played with Javi since I was 17. We played travel ball together. And Javi's been that way.
Javi Baez,
Yeah, Baez, yeah. Javi's been that way since he's been in high school. He just plays with emotion. That's what makes him good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and if someone punches him out and does that, it's the same thing as him hitting a home run. You know what I mean? I think that's just people play with emotion. I think that's what makes our game fun. And I think the thing of like a guy like me that is so emotional and very vocal in like the dugout in the clubhouse and stuff like that, like you just said, if you don't bring it every single day, then your teammates start to think it's a fake thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like in the minute someone starts to think it's fake, or that's not you, or that's not really like you really don't care about me, you only care about me certain days, then you lose your team.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about that too. Is like you have to be a reliable character almost.
No doubt.
You have to like be reliable in your preparation and kind of how you bring your energy. Otherwise, like you said, like people are gonna be like, oh, is he just doing this because he's playing well? Or is he just intense because he's not playing well? Like, what is his? I don't understand, and I can't rely on that teammate really.
Exactly, and like every day in our game, you're not gonna like. There's times when like for you, like you have 3 bad starts in a row, or me, like I have 2 weeks where like I'm not hitting, and you don't have to be happy. Like you don't have to be in a good mood. But the 3 hours that you're at the field or 4 hours you're at the field, you have to put a front on. You have to be able to put a front on. Be the same person you are, and then you know what? When you leave the field, you can be back to like, hey, I need to find a way to get out of this funk. But it can't be about you in the funk when you're going through it at the field.
How do you think that being traded, coming to Seattle, reignited, or did that adjust anything for you, or did that change your mindset at all? How did you change in that process, and now from the player you used to be with Chicago to now?
It took me a little bit to get comfortable basically and like being myself. My first time I got called up in the big leagues, like in the minor leagues, it was fine. I already knew guys in the minor leagues. I was having a blast. I was being myself, joking around, having fun, talking smack. And then I get called up for the first time in September. And like, I'm like, I don't want to step on any toes. Like I was just quiet, didn't say anything, didn't play with any emotion. And I wasn't very good at all. Same thing happened the next year. I broke camp with the Mariners, and the same exact thing happened. Like, I was just like scared to be myself. Like, didn't want to step on any toes. I mean, you got like Robbie and Nelly and Seager that I wasn't close with at the time, and all these big time guys. I'm like, man, like all I've ever heard is like rookies trying to be like they're too comfortable. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't. Yeah. And I struggled again. And the time that like it really, really clicked for me was when Robbie broke his hand. And Robbie rehabbed in Tacoma, and that was the year that I was up and down a lot, and I rehabbed in Tacoma, and Robbie saw how I was when I was in Tacoma, and his locker was next to me in Tacoma, and Robbie like pulled me aside and was like, why aren't you like this up in the big leagues? Yeah. And I was like, and I just told him. He was like, well, that needs to change. He goes, because you need to be who you are, and if that's how you play, that's how you play, and people will accept you as long as you perform. He goes, next time you come up here, if you're not like this, I'm going to call you out. And from then on, I was like, I was myself, and everybody accepted it, and I've been that way since. So I think that once again, like everything happens for a reason, in the sense of, you know, you can get caught up in like, why am I up and down? I just want a full opportunity. Well, I wasn't fully ready, because if I get a full opportunity and I'm not myself, then it would have been blown away, and I would have been in AAA again. Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to touch on that, because I remember you going through that and you saying that, and I remember us talking about this at times, and I feel like the player that I first met when I got to Tacoma, when I got traded, when I met you for the first time, I was like, this guy is a cartoon character. I mean, this guy is like his character's off the charts, and like you competed every day. You were funny as heck, and you drove a lot of dudes to be better. And then once you had that conversation with Robbie and you came back, it was like it was released. Like the tiger was let out of the cage, the gates were open, and that's kind of led you through your 2019. I mean, it was just like you kind of just found yourself in that moment too.
And I mean, I think that for me individually can take that, like Robbie doing that to me, like you see, like especially now we have a lot of guys that are going to be their first year in the big leagues and everything, and like, you got to be exactly, but you can't be scared to be who you are. You know what I mean? Like you're either going to eventually, and the way I always say it, like, you can only hide it so long. And if you hide it for too long, it's going to be too late to actually be yourself.
Yeah.
So you just have to be yourself. And I think that
Yeah.
you can always tone things back rather than you can't really teach someone to amp it up.
Yeah, no, those are strong words. And I think people will be really, especially guys on our team, guys up and coming, like you said, are going to be really, really grateful to hear that coming from you, because you've gone through a similar thing and having to be more comfortable. And I've gone through a similar thing as well. So that's huge. And to be able to kind of share that with the younger guys coming up, I mean, you're going to be able to help some guys to be comfortable. And I think there's a line, like, being yourself and being too comfortable. I think there's a line in there, like, you can be yourself, but you need to be respectful of the veteran guys that are there, the process of being in the big leagues, kind of your place on the team. But if you're hiding who you are, then you're not covering that base either. You know what I mean? Like,
as soon as you step on the
there's
field,
a line somewhere in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. As soon as you step on the field, I think you're totally yourself. And you can be yourself in the clubhouse as much as you want and everything. It's just like you said. I think the respectful sense is like being on time, being early, doing the little things, get your work in. And as long as I think that's like the one thing too that I learned from like Seager and Robbie and those guys. Like, you get your work in and you work, nobody will ever say anything to you. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, because if you show that you work and you want to put the work in, that means you care and you want to win and you want to compete, and then other people are going to want to help you.
Yeah. You've backed up what you say, in a sense. You've backed up who you are. You have your workload behind you. You say, this is what I bring with me every day. And I can be myself because I'm content. I'm secure with what I've done for myself and this team every day.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because I've heard Service talk about this in reference to Vogey in particular, about, he jokes, Daniel, you've got a scouting report for like every pitcher. Like, oh, I saw this guy in Double A, I saw this guy in Low A, I saw this guy in Tacoma, or obviously the big league guys that you faced last week. I mean, has this been a part of your baseball persona from day one, or have you developed this over the course of your career?
I mean, the way I look at it is my job's to hit and my job's to always hit, and their job's to get me out. So it's like anything at the job. Like, I got to know the way they're trying to get me out, and I got to know how what they want to do and how they're going to want to do it. And I just take notes, and I just don't forget, especially if a guy gets me out, or especially if a guy like kind of like owns me in some sense. Like, I really, really know that. Like, I really remember, I try to know exactly how he did it, try to write stuff down. Like for instance, in the big leagues, like I try to before every series, I try to do my own scouting reports on all the pitchers that I haven't faced, just so I know in my sense, like how they're going to attack me and stuff like that.
Daniel, can you walk us through a little bit what it looks like for you to build a scouting report on, say, 4 pitchers that you haven't seen from the whatever team it might be that you're playing game 1 tonight?
Yeah. Like, for instance, like we were supposed to face Kluber opening night in Seattle. And so I would do, number one, I would look at his fastball, which way it goes. So his ball goes both ways. He can sink it in, he sinks it and cuts it, which not a lot of guys do in the big leagues, which makes him really good. So I would look at what his fastball does. Is it going to sink? Is it going to cut? Is it going to ride? And then I want to know what side of the plate he likes to attack. So for us, he likes to attack the inner half. For lefties, he likes to do 2 seams in and cutters off of it. And then I just want to know what his put-out pitch is. So I want to know what his fastball does, and I want to know what he does with 2 strikes, if I need to get him up or if I can push him down.
How do you keep from being paralyzed at the plate when you are trying to churn through this information in the batter's box between pitches from one of the nastiest Cy Young Award winners in the game right now? I mean, in front of 30,000 people on TV. I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am not one of the bookworm guys. Like, just in the sense of I will get in my own head. Like, I don't want to know percentages, none of that stuff. I just do the fastball stuff so I can set my sights. Like, for instance, like, am I going to look away or am I going to look in? That's the only thing that I do. And it just helps me. And then I go to, like, see the ball, hit the ball. I just want to recognize the ball. And basically, like I said, the fastball is the reason I do it is if he pitches up or down, because if I have to get him down, then I know if he pitches down, then I know I got to get him up so I don't chase the curveball.
Yeah, got to be simple, and then you can just let your energy, your competitive energy, come out and go attack the ball.
And I think that that's, like you just said, I think that's the biggest thing. I think that when I get in the box, it's over. I just compete. Like whether I'm feeling good, whether I'm feeling bad, you just have to go to compete mode. And it's me versus him. And it's just, let's get it on.
Hey, last year you had an all-star season, Vogey. I mean, you represented the Mariners at the Midsummer Classic, which is, I mean, you really think about that? You take yourself back to playing on a Little League field in Florida, to the fact that you fast forward and you're going to be a big league all-star one day. I mean, that's amazing, man. So first of all, congratulations. I know it's been a long time since you played in that game, but congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Now that you've had so much time to reflect on it, right? Because I have to imagine it's so hard during the season. You play the final game of the first half, you get whisked off to the all-star game, you do all the pre-game festivities, you play in the game, you get on a plane, you fly back to your team, and then you're playing on a Friday, right? I mean, like it's a rat race during that all-star break. But now that you've had time to sit back and reflect on it, what are some of your biggest takeaways about that whole experience?
I mean, the biggest thing for me was just kind of going from 3 years ago being up and down, not really knowing if I'm ever going to get an opportunity, and always hearing like control what you can control. You're eventually going to get an opportunity, and you try to always like believe that, but in reality, we're human. Like eventually you think like, okay, like it's been long enough. Like, am I ever going to get a chance? And, I think that kind of really staying aggressive in my mindset that it is going to happen. And then sitting in the room with the best players in the world. You walk in the locker room and you're with guys that are already talking about being in the Hall of Fame. It's like, man, like this makes everything that you've gone through like 100% worth it, and then it makes you want to do it over and over and over again.
I have a buddy that told me an interesting thing, that you played in Spokane, actually, where
I did.
Dag is for a little bit. And there's rumors, there's an old tale that someone told me that you hit a ball off a train in Spokane. Is that true?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they have like a little wall that's like really short, but then the train's like way back there, and I hit the train.
Like it's moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that I think that's the only train that you've hit in your life, right? Like,
that's definitely the only train that I've hit.
Okay, I mean, unless you hit it at Minute Maid, like that's pretty much the only chance you're going to get to hit a train.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only one that I've ever hit.
All right, so there's truth to that fabled tale. Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure.
Is.
All right,
yes.
Cool. The people of Spokane have been wondering this question, so they people don't forget,
I like it.
Vogel train. Do you like the moniker Vogelbomb, by the way? Like, is this Vogelbach endorsed?
I guess we're going with it.
I mean,
it sounds good when you say it.
It's very popular.
Good when you say it, so I'm going with it.
There you go. Wow. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that.
You have more to say? Hey, before we get to quick pitch and some Twitter questions, we have to discuss something that I found out firsthand knowledge of last year. And, in my role, I'm not exactly the investigative reporter. I'm not the journalist on the traveling party. I just call what I see, right? But last year, we're in St. Petersburg, all right? We're in Vogelbach territory. And I'm walking around after breakfast. It's a beautiful day. I just crushed a breakfast burrito. And I see in this little park outside of where our hotel is, I see Yusei Kikuchi. And Yusei's just sitting there enjoying a cup of coffee and some sunshine. And like, I've talked to Yusei a little bit, but not a ton. He's learning English. He's getting better at it. He's becoming more fluent. And so I figured this is a good time just to have a brief chat, just to check and see how he's doing. He had recently had his son, Leo, right? And so we start talking, and I asked him about his son, how he's doing. And I said, his name is Leo, right? Like Leo, Leo. And he said, yes, Leo Daniel Kikuchi. And I go, wait, what? He's like, Leo Daniel Kikuchi. And I'm like, first of all, I'm like, this is not sound like a family name, right? Okay.
Very Japanese, actually.
Yeah. I was like, why Daniel? He's like, after Daniel Vogelbach. It's like, what? What? He's like, yeah.
That's the coolest thing. That's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. And I'm like, why? I mean, why? Why? And he's like, oh, Daniel, I just love him. He's just got a great heart, a great soul, and he's just a great friend. And I wanted to name my son after him.
Uncle Daniel.
Yeah.
Now,
when he told me that, it was pretty, for him to do that is pretty special. I think that type of stuff means more than, hitting home runs and doing stuff like that. I think I always try to put myself in like someone like Yusei's shoes, and comes from a whole new country, whole new culture. He's supposed to be the next Cy Young winner that comes over from there, and all this pressure on him. He loses his father, and he gets off to a slow start, and you wonder, like, man, like, would I be able to do that? That's crazy. Like, that would be so much on my plate. So I just slowly started as soon as he came over to just every day just ask him how he's doing. How you doing? How you doing? And then in spring it was that. And then we went to Japan and kind of just, I think, showing him that we cared about learning about him and his culture, I think really like made him think like, like we care about him, and like we don't really care right now about the baseball sense. Like, we're here for you. We know you're going through a rough time, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys bonded for sure. He loves him some Vogey, but I think who doesn't? But I think like you're right. Like we try to make an effort to show him that, hey, like we're here not just because we have to be your teammate, but because we want to be your friend and we want you to be as comfortable as you can. This transition is really hard, not to mention the off the field stuff that he went through. So when I found out about that, I thought it was perfect, man. Leo Daniels got a ring to it.
When he told me, I'm like, man, this is unbelievable, but I don't believe it. And then they always bring him to the field, and he's like, look, it's little Daniel.
So are you like honorary godfather? Like what?
I don't know. I go with it. It's all I can do is just go with it.
Yeah. You'll be
I'm never going to call him Leo. I can tell you that. I'm only going to call him Daniel.
Yeah, you'll be at the birthday parties, I'm sure.
No doubt.
I'll be helping
him hit the pinata at 2 years old.
Is it fair to say, Vogey, that you're like kind of the fun uncle figure in the clubhouse for all the kids? Like, I feel like this is like all the players' kids all want to hang with Vogey.
Yeah. Crew's all over you.
Yeah, Crew, I just something about that kid. I mean, he loves being around his dad, and he loves being around the field. Seager's son. Yeah. And I don't know. I just love being around. That kid's awesome. And he and I have kind of bonded over the time. And even like now, like I try to FaceTime Sieg and, talk to Crew a little bit and just say hello and try to be good to the kids. Cause, I know that it's a tough life for those kids sometimes, especially, you hear little things when, like Kyle's playing with Crew and, Kyle has to go to the field and you hear Crew say, Daddy, don't go to work today. Like, those kids don't know any different. They just want to hang out with their dads. And so anytime you can give them any attention and just kind of show that you care as well, I think it really helps and goes a long way.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, you're definitely the fun uncle.
By the way, Marco, now that we have this relationship going, I imagine like your first son's Aaron would be a great middle name, right? It's strong, man. It's strong. Trust
it doesn't
me.
ring with anything, man. It doesn't go with anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Careful. All right, we have a Twitter question for you, Vogey.
Okay.
I think this is true for Marco as well. Dave brings up an interesting perspective. We talk all the time about trying to stay physically ready during this time of baseball shutdown, but what is it like staying mentally ready for baseball during this time? Is that something you think you can just switch on in 3 weeks or so of a spring training if that were to happen, or does it take longer than that?
Physically, for me, I've been working out every day and, trying to hit as much as I can when I get the opportunity, and you're able to. The mental part for me may be a little different for a pitcher or something, but maybe just how I am, like I can turn it on and off. Like I think that in the sense of when we go back to spring training and you see that all the guys are back and it's time to compete again, it's ready to roll. I think it's basically the way I've looked at this is just a longer off season. It's when we go back and we report and you see all the guys and you step into the batter's box, you have to be able to flip the switch on and be ready to go back to compete mode.
Marco, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's pretty easy switch to flip once you like Vogue said, like once you see the guys, like once you're out on the field, once you start putting on some Mariners gear, like I think in our minds we're pretty good at being able to train on our own in the off season, and then when we show up, we know that it's go time. We know that we're able to get in that mindset a little bit. So I think that 3 weeks that we're supposedly going to have, that month of time to get ready. I mean, it's pretty easy once you see guys at the highest level around you and they're going and you're like, all right, well, time to go. Like it's not like I'm not ready. Like you fall into the groove pretty easily. So I think right now all we can do is get physically ready and then just trust that we're going to find that mental groove too.
Marco, are you ready to progress to quick pitch?
Let's go.
All right, Vogey. This is like, remember when you were coming off the bench and you're facing Ken Giles like every day in a row in the 9th inning with 2 outs? Like that's what this is going to be like.
Why do you have to bring that back up?
I felt so bad, man. Yeah. You've been in the show for like a week and it's like, all right, Vogey, go get Giles. Like every day of the series.
I'm not going to sleep now tonight. I'm not going to sleep tonight, Goldie. Thanks a lot. I'm nightmares.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, nightmares.
Okay. Here we go. Quick pitch begins right now. Vogey, breakfast burritos or breakfast sandwich?
Breakfast sandwich.
All right. Would you rather sing on stage or dance on stage?
Sing.
Video games or board games?
Video games.
White wine or red wine?
White wine.
So fancy. Vogey, Scott Service is coming over for dinner tonight. What are you going to cook for him?
Steaks, mushrooms, zucchini, squash, potatoes.
Okay, so would you rather cook at home or would you rather go out?
Cook at home.
What is your go-to cheat day binge food?
Barbecue. Little like hole-in-the-wall place down here in Fort Myers barbecue.
Okay. All right. The Bachelor or The Bachelorette?
The Bachelorette.
Tell me which teammate of yours is most likely to win Survivor?
Malix.
I also need to know which current teammate most likely has made his own hand sanitizer.
Malix.
I was hoping you'd say that. Yes.
Those two things can't go together, by the way. They can't. You can't be hand sanitizer guy and Survivor guy.
But that's just how Malix is. Malix always finds a way with everything. He finds a way. That's how he is. I got my money on Malix with both.
All right, carry on.
Okay. Would you rather make another All-Star team or hit 30 bombs?
Oh, man. Make another All-Star team.
Griffey or Edgar?
Both.
That's not how the game works.
Griffey.
All right.
Florida guy.
All right. This last one. Would you rather win an MVP or win a Silver Slugger?
Win a Silver Slugger.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well done.
That was good. I like that.
Great work. We try to throw a little baseball in there, a little this or that, make it tough, but a little fun things in there. I'm interested, like The Bachelorette, like that's a lot of dudes that you're watching all the time. Like,
yeah, but it's way more drama over one girl.
All right, fair.
Previous contestants say that all the drama of the women is better.
That's the thing.
I like it when the girl's like, oh my gosh, he did this, he did. It's just way more drama. I wouldn't watch either of them, but I think it's cooler. It's cooler too when the guys can play with the girl's heart. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that show either.
Vogey, as we wrap things up here, are you planning on using this time down to do any interior decorating?
In what sign? In what sense?
Like
am I putting a fish up?
Like anything on the walls, or is this just like? Did you just want a neutral background? Were you thinking of us? Is that what this is about?
No, I mean I'm in the process of hanging jerseys and stuff.
Okay.
Hey, he's in the corner. This is inside corner.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Look at you, Marco. And
my guy.
That's why he's your co-host right there.
There
That's
we go. Bam.
See, he has to earn his keep every week.
All right. I love it.
Vogey, man, this was awesome. It was as good, if not better, than I was hoping. I mean, it's great to see you. It's great to catch up with you a little bit. We hope you start growing that beard out again.
All right, I'll let it go. I'll let it go till spring.
All right. Vogey, man, take care. Stay safe.
I'll see you guys soon.
We'll catch up with you soon, man.
Yeah, dude. See you, buddy.
See you, man.
Marco, I'll see you next week, my man.
Sounds good. See you, Goldie.
Thanks for watching the Inside Corner with Gonzo and Goldie, presented by Coors Light. Make sure to subscribe to the Mariners YouTube channel for more great Mariners content.